Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting and everything and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host and Pearl Lane, the one and only Master Propaganda. Off here to a glorious 1v1 on Twin Beaches in the south stands Barton, fighting for the British Empire, man, consumed by the dream of creating a perfect replica of a BAR in soap before eating it. Taking on the role here of the British Empire and the 7th Armoured Division, the Desert Rats. In the north stands Farlion, fighting for the German army, Deutschland. Taking on the role here of the 3rd Panzergrenadier Division. And no battle group choice here for Barton. As for Farlion, nothing at either. We got the Kartschützen, the Panzerpionier, and the Panzergrenadier. So, Farlion there rushing out to the beaches, and so is Barton, but he's seemingly more focused on the northern beaches with an early Vickers. As always, a big hearty thanks to my patrons and supporters for the continued and generous support of the Propagandacaster, and a big thanks to FLCL Empire for pledging on Patreon as well, joining this heroic league of delightful people. So we're racing out here, the Vickers being hauled to the hill there. The Vickers, a World War I vintage machine gun, was basically an improvement to the Max machine gun. So, little fun note there in the south, Kartschützen pushing forwards. Got the Panzerpionier and the Panzer northwards as well. Here looks like both sides are going to focus towards the north side, primarily. Not uncommon on Twin Beaches to see players focusing on the north side, particularly with the northern fuel hill here, where many players is tending to put less emphasis onto the southern beaches, interestingly enough. So, basically it's just like free real estate there for Barton, or for Farlion Spike in the south. Section pulling forwards there for the British Empire, Lee Enfields and revolvers. Because they're covering up here, making any attempt to push up to the fuel here right away. Very painful for Farlion. And now we got more fighting here towards the beaches. Well, the first real serious fighting here as Farlion here, or Barton here from the arcade, I don't know. Fires down to the bike. Do have the punch moving in here, occupying the building right behind here. So we'll have to see what Barton does. He could rush it in the nearby other building, at which point Farlion will struggle to force the British to vacate the premises, lacking any flamethrowers or assault troops or aggressive landlords. South back pushing for the southern field point. Now the section out there for Barton and the British Empire. Bit of skirms continuing up here. Barton, of course, trying to extricate himself in this engagement before things become too awkward for him. Probably figuring he only has a certain amount of time before flamethrower comes in his general direction. Farlion continues to focus on the southern beaches. We also have relatively fast tech here with a light support company up there for Farlion and the German army. South side, bike busy, ramping up as much as it can. Panzerpionier probing forwards. Section up with the Panzerpionier out in the open. Bike joining in there. North side, Barton continues to grab points to the Vickers. Meanwhile, continues to have itself a nice bit of tea time there. And as a fun fact, Vickers gunners were known for, basically using the water-cooled machine gun for tea as well. So, pushing south as ever the Vickers. Panzerpionier moving forwards. We'll have to see what is next for Barton. Another Vickers here. So double Vickers, double sections. Certainly on Twin Beaches, multiple machine guns can be a fairly effective build. So you may see that more here on this map. But on the map's partly due to the way the map is constructed. It very much makes it very easy to get multiple machine guns going here due to the choke point heavy nature of the map. There's a lot of bottlenecks. A lot of other ways they can make extremely effective use of the machine guns, which is why you'll see some bear map players in particular for a lot of MG42s on this map. Hopefully that will get toned down in the upcoming July patch. Should have some new maps amongst other things and a fully revamped halving system. Apparently being done by DevM, so that sounds very promising. But yeah, fighting here around here, Barton's now pushing forward to utilising houses and nearby parked cars there to advance slowly here on Farlion's positions. And of course the point is once problem, specifically for Farlion, if he gets this position he can actually threaten the carve point here. Panzerpionier taking heavy losses. Yeah, this is looking pretty rough here for Farlion. His men are being bled out, partly because he is rushing straight ahead here towards the mechanized company, likely an Armoured. And certainly not a bad idea, but it does mean if Barton pushes up more resources now, which he's doing, in particular lots of machine guns, he can effectively force Farlion away here and might actually be able to defend the carve point with a pin here. So this is a pretty rough start here for Farlion. North here, Barton sappers are being spotted by the bike. Overall, the Germans operate 2 types of bikes, BMW and Zundup, one of which could actually reverse. I can't ever remember which one it is. I think it's the Zundup bike, though, that could reverse. They also looked very similar. Anyways, got the Armoured down the way for Farlion, but yeah, we can see there Barton going for the carve point. And again, a bit of a quirk of this map. Hopefully they can sort this out in a future patch, but this building can actually cover the carve point. Meaning if you're actually finding on north twin beaches, you're actually at a bit of disadvantage compared to the south, where the house here, as you might notice, can't. Finally, here goes for armor support. Over to Barton, who still hasn't chosen a battle group here. Triple section, 2 Vickers, and 1 Sapper section. North here, Sappers routing the CoH3, almost got it knocked out here. But now, fine, despite having all the beaches and like multiple fuel points, it doesn't matter because with that connection, yeah, I mean, it's, you know, disconnected out of supply. So he's only really got these 2 points, meaning Barton right now has effective map advantage over Farlion, despite Barton effectively neglecting the beaches otherwise entirely. I've got the arriving here for Farlion. Anti-tank robs up here for Barton. Very, of course, good read here by Barton on the situation. I mean, most DAK players will, of course, at some point push for a lot of light vehicles. Having anti-tank rifles as the British is obviously a very, very good choice. Particularly upon rush out afterguards, the anti-tank rifles will do a lot of good there in minimizing the impact. Of course, right now, Farlion is looking to maximize the impact, get a wipe here in Barton. That's certainly going to hurt Barton in the early game. Getting rid of 260 manpower, of course, Barton remains firmly entrenched here and firmly a thorn in Farlion's side. We also got here a assault grenadier squad out. He called it in. Note the look here. By the way, that is from the Night Fighter skin. You can get with the Twitch Prime this month. The DAK also has some very neat Panzerjägers. There's also one for the Tiger 1, but that one currently doesn't see a lot of usage. I don't know if I'll be able to show it on the channel so far. Panzer Peony rushing in here, going straight in here, looking to dislodge Barton here off the cut-off point with some good old flame for action. Good push here, but fine. Catching here Barton in a pretty bad spot, as his men are definitely not covered in asbestos. I'm sure the British Empire would have tried if possible. Assault gun is pushing up there, half-track explodes as the anti-tank rifle, of course, just utterly destroyed. But the damage has been done, and the British Empire, the 7th Armoured here, is forced to vacate the premises, as fine here with a good old push. Routs the British. Troops streaming through the gaps here. Assault grenadiers, panzer grenadiers, Kar 90Ks, and MP40s. Barton here going for Indian artillery. Not a big surprise. Easily, you know, the best battle group. You got the Gurkhas, you got the volunteer infantry, you got the heavy mortar, you got lots of artillery abilities. It's just really good. Not at this point, like, you know, if you had some kind of call-in tank, I'd straight up call it Garten Motor 2.0. So, northern point team, we can see farming to secure the fuel hill there, and grab the car as well to disconnect Barton from the northern resources overall. Sharp play there by Farlion. We got Barton there counter-attack. He's got the Steward on the way there. Good counter for the Armoured, able to put pressure on the assault gunners and the panzer gunners as well. Second Armoured here for Farlion. Clearly not expecting a Steward, I think. Otherwise, I do not believe he would have gone for the second Armoured. He would have gone for a Marder straight away. So this definitely gives, I think, Barton a bit of good work here with his M3 Steward. Also known as the Honey Steward by the British, as they overall like its performance. Pushing 40 double Vickers, 1 Veterans 1, backed up by a lot of tank hunter sections. Panzer there being ripped apart here beneath a wave of machine gun fire. Steward catching Farlion Spike here in a pretty bad spot. There we go, that's going to hurt Farlion quite a bit. The limit his mobility. Barton though continues to ignore the beaches. Vickers pulling forwards here, clearly A-moving them. But there you go, fine flank up here with the assault grenadiers. The MP40s though being met with flamethrowers and Sten Mark 2s. And now we got the double Vickers here ripping through Farlion's repeating troops, and they're taking a lot of damage. Since they're not suppressed, they technically take full damage from the machine guns. And keep in mind, suppression always, at least for a while, decreases the amount of damage taken from like small arms fire. So double Vickers on the trading unit can actually do a large amount of damage, more than you'd probably expect. But there you go, Arctars on the move, Steward, tank on the section here. Could cause a lot of damage here to Farlion's armoured cars here. But we do have the Marder arriving out to support here his forces. The Marder Flea early model, there was a total of 3 Marder Fleas. You had the early model like this, using a converted Soviet anti-tank gun. And then you had like the Model H and the Model M using Pak-40s. Overall, they also had like 3 separate types of Marders. You had the Marder 2 based off the Panzer 2, and you had the Marder 1 based off French tanks. So, a lot of fun facts there about the Marder series. Tank on the section there, we got Panzer pushing forwards, backed up the assault grenadiers.
infantry are standing by to deploy. MG, say the word. Our strategic
Gurkhas out there.
overrun.
Elite Nepalese troops that have definitely done a lot of good for the British Empire in the past, and even today serve with distinction. Troops there being absolutely mauled here by the Arctard. Two Arctards can, as you can see, they do a lot of damage to infantry rapidly. Looks like Barton's luck slightly smiles through here. Maybe he does. An Arctard continue to break through here. Not caring about here what Barton always has seen. He gets the kill. And the sidearm of the Stuart is getting way to the autocannons of the Arctards. In the end, Barton is able to angle the Stuart so the frontal armor is presented towards the autocannons. Vic is there in trouble. Really good push here by Farlion, ripping through Barton here. Strong push, bit risky, but clearly in this case panned out for him quite well. Gurkhas also faced with drawing with the Bren guns. They are obviously no match for the Arctards. South side here we can see Barton is finally pushing onto the beaches here against Farlion, and the 3rd Panzer Grenadier is shown. 5th Panzer Grenadier Company grab the Vickers Sea, even as Farlion is desperately trying to destroy it. So we got a 6-pounder gun here. Vickers white again. 6-pounder gun lands a great hit on the Arctard here. Big 2 pawns wise. Farlion also has a good lead over Barton here for the time being. Partly again due to Barton allowing the Southern Victor pawn to remain there in German hands as well. 2nd Marder here for Farlion, though he did lose the assault grenadiers here, I believe, to a grenade assault from the Gurkhas. Just kind of got lost out there in the massive Arctard push there from Farlion. 2nd Marder 3 here. Gurkhas quick to grab the Vickers here, turn against Farlion once more and his merry band of Germans. And MG-34 here for Farlion, realizing he needs machine guns too to deal with the British menace. 2nd Marder 3 here, based off the Czechoslovakian Panzer 38G chassis, which would be the basis of a lot of German weapons platforms, and of course down the road the Hetzer. Overall, really robust design. It was also, though, of course, the early Panzer 38Ts constrained by the fact, you know, it was fairly small. But there you go. Stuart there running to the Marders here, and somehow Barton does not lose the Stuart here. That was incredibly lucky there for Barton, considering like he kind of went in fairly reckless there versus his Farlion and his Marders. And again, he's kind of neglecting the beaches though, so it's fine at this point, and both players are once more getting a bit focused on the fuel hill here. Which does tend to be a pattern with some players, like they'll actually focus on the fuel on the hill here and somewhat neglect the beaches. Nothing further here for Barton. As for Farlion, will of course have to comes next. No upgrades as of yet. As opposed push for the Panzer Armee Kommando, if he so desires. Barton starting to make better progress on the South. Stuart there, by the way, has the survival package up. They're very good upgrade there. Allows it self-repair and deploy smoke. Set that Stuart has definitely seen a lot of combat. Fine, I think, heading towards the beaches now. At the same time means he's kind of leaving nothing up north now here towards Barton's there. Vickers, Gurkhas on the move. Arctards marching southwards. MG-34 is pushing southwards. Other weapons platforms off the Panzer 38T would include the Driller, which was sort of a short-range heavy self-propelled artillery piece. And you also had the Flak Panzer 83 Gepard, which you kind of wish they'd gone for rather than the Wirbelwind. And of course you also had the Hetzer as mentioned before. Gurkhas pushing northwards here. Farlion once more looking to claim the north side of the map here from Farlion and the German army. We do get the Panzer Armee command, so likely a Panzer 3 here from Farlion. Likely that. As for Barton, we're not really seeing much in tech. We're seeing another section though. Got to push here. And of course we do see a bit of the danger here for Farlion, because again Barton can quickly occupy these buildings. There you go. Anti-tank was being stuffed inside the houses now. Which does make it a bit, like, he clearly slowed down a bit too much here instead of like swinging through here. Probably want to repair though a bit more safely, but it does again mean Barton can occupy this vital ground here. And you kind of need to occupy this area as well to control the beaches effectively, so that creates a bit of a strange dynamic on twin beaches as well. Stuart almost fully fixed up, crew hard at work there. So a bit quiet here. Machine Gewehr team being pushed all the way down here towards the southern field point. Go, occupying both houses here with anti-tank rifles. Will make it very difficult for Farlion to use his light vehicles around here, because these buildings are quite excellent for anti-tank riflemen. Of course, now Barton can also start threatening the carve point. Say he gets a Vickers down here as well. He can sort of overwatch here and make it very difficult for him to like form up an effective defense around here. Shooting Gewehr in there for Farlion's Panzergrenadiere. Stuart pushing southwards. Still no sign of tech there for Barton. Let's push over to him. Straight into the MG-34. Atlas moving forward here, getting hit here with the anti-tank rifles. Vickers setting up here as well. We can see that Barton is clearly lining up for another push there, and Farlion's carve point. Farlion looks like he might try and swing towards the northern hill and swing up behind Barton's forces here. If he does it with enough speed, I think he can actually pull it off here, but if he's too slow now, risks giving Barton too much time to like reorient all of his guns and troops to counter. There we go. Farlion now's making the push here. He's making the breakthrough attempt, trying to swing around here. Barton here, using the hill, but he gets caught in the hill here. Arclight taking a lot of damage. Anti-tank guns, anti-tank rifle fire, we got the machine guns and the Gurk as well, ripping through Farlion's Panzergrenadiers. And Farlion's attempt to dash around here. Barton's north flank has fallen apart here. And now he's got very little tech to counter the cut-off point as well here. And in fact, we can see now Barton is pursuing Farlion here, his withdrawals here further northwards. And in fact, if Farlion isn't careful, could actually end up with some of his units being sort of pinned against the edge of the map and destroyed here by Barton. Definitely a bit of precarious position Farlion is in, but looks like Barton is not going to exploit this. Meanwhile, Farlion going for a Panzer III there, the Panzerkampfwagen 3 Ausführung L. Vickers here providing excellent car fire as well there. Panzergrenadier being pushed back. Down to 3 men, low on health, and I do believe, yes, we do also now have the company command post up for Barton. Go straight for Crusader, Matildas, of course Foot Guards. That's it, versus 2 Marders. I think the Matilda represents too big and too slow of a target to really be viable. You could consider Crusader tanks though, or Foot Guards. You could of course also push for the M3 Grant and try and utilize those. So there's a few options of course here for Barton to pick versus Farlion. But which option Barton picks is of course the question. Section falling a bit back here, and we do get the Crusader Mark II. Panzerkampfwagen Ausführung and pushing forwards. Yep, Vickers in the car for him, and Barton are firing 70-34 there. But now we got the Panzer moving up here, flanking there against Barton. There you go, Farlion with another one of his aggressive dives here, anti-tank grenades in the afterguard here. But Farlion clearly doesn't give a toss, he's pushing forwards for the fatherland. His Panzer III, they're hitting one of Barton's weak spots there, anti-tank crew cleared out. Utilizing a bit the weakness of the hill, which is this particular outcropping, which creates a bit of a blind spot in any defense that's too focused here, and Farlion saw right through it and punished Barton there, clearing out the anti-tank gun there, and forcing Barton to abandon the hill here, stooping hit with the Marders again. Deploy smoke though. Panzer IIIs and Achtras there pushing through. And now we got the Vickers left behind in the hasty panic. Gunners wondering what the hell happened to everyone else, only to realise they've been abandoned. And that's going to be, I think, a wipe here on Barton's machine gun. Could be seized by Farlion and turned against Barton. Quite painful engagement here for Barton. Quite painful. We do have the Crusader now being upgraded to the Crusader Mark III with a 6-pounder gun. And now, of course, Farlion also has the 6-pounder gun here on top of the Vickers. So this was a really profitable engagement for Farlion. I mean, not only did, like, you know, inflict heavy losses on Barton, push him off the hill, he also secured several support weapons. Got the air burst barrage off here ready for Barton. Big old push down the middle of the road here for Barton. No cover, no smoke screens. Honestly, fairly risky here with the anti-tank riflemen. Taking a lot of damage on them. Crusader pushing on the beach against the MG-34 there. Up north here, Panzer is advancing Gurkas. Ripping the party out in the open with the MG-34. 6-pounder gun holding back. Forcing healing, and we got a 6-pounder gun there for Barton. Clearly needing more anti-tank on acids, of course, now deal with Farlion's, well, quite significant armor edge there. I thought they've been caught at a bad spot here. Crusader could go after it, of course, there is still the Marders to be mindful of. Anti-tank checks in there being placed out in the open with a heavy fire there from the Panzer IIIs in the afterguard. Marder, though, is taking quite a few hits from the boys, though. And he's down to less than half health here. Bit risky there for Farlion's Marder. Needs to, I think, pull it back towards the base. He stood creeping up for a few extra hits on Farlion's Panzerkampfwagens. And there goes 6-pounder gun revealing itself here. Marder spreading through Barton's Crusader. Not looking great here for Barton's Armour once more. Farlion sensing this, I think he's going to try and push any with this Panzerkampfwagen. CoH3 extended, of course, but if he makes this work, this is going to be quite painful there for Barton. Got the Crusader Panther Fleet narrowly alive here. Close call there for Farlion. And really bad there for Barton, to be honest. He's down to just the steward again. Back though to Farlion. Another Panther Fleet there. Looking to, of course, up his armor advantage. He also got the Flampanzer 3 and Panzerstorm unlocked. Panzerkampfwagen then being fixed up. Marder's moving about. Big 2 points wide. This is more lead for Farlion over Barton, but it's certainly not too big either. We do also now have emergency repair kits unlocked for Farlion. By its excellent self-repair abilities, though a bit slow. Plus, of course, extra health.
Battlefield wrecks shall be salvaged for resources.
And we got Battlefield Salvage, a powerful ability when timed correctly. Right, a good bit of manpower there, 230 fuel for every vehicle kill.
Panzer 3 on station.
6-pounder gun there. Good shot on the Panzer 3 here in the south. Marder's been caught in a pretty bad spot there. Not entirely sure if Farlion's sending the Marders like that, honestly. If Barton actually has anti-tank grenades, he could actually, I think, leave the Marder in a really, really bad place. But looks like Barton has not researched that very much. The fortune here of Farlion. And the 3rd Panzer Grenadier Division. North here, up Stewart versus the Panzer Pioneer there. Almost got the Marder here. Can Barton finish it off? Yes, he did get it. Minor blow to find this point. Double hits here through the Panther 3 side armor, which the boys could penetrate. In fact, anti-tank robbers were the primary reason the Germans would actually add armored side skirts to the tanks. Northeast Stewart versus the Panzer Pioneer. Forced away there. South point being seized by the Vickers and the Gurkhas.
Enemy forces have captured the victory point. Proximity alarm near our strategic point.
Marder fixed up again. Barton, though, quickly wants onto the hill. He's securing the north side. But he is at least this time around keeping a minor press on the south. The Farlion is clearly abandoning the south entirely, which could allow Barton to gulp up the rest of the beach here. Hunters are being bunched up as the flamethrower. Not actually optimal here, since flamethrowers are AoE weapons. You really want to be careful about bunching up troops in front of them. Just a quick side note, they're Panther being hit by an tank rifle, and we do actually get grenades now here from Barton. Almost got the Panther here, but the 6-pounder guns miss Farlion's Panzerkampfwagens. Very lucky there for Farlion. Exceedingly so. He could have lost that Panther 3 right then and there. Barton, though, ends up abandoning the hill as he has no resource to defend it further, since he has no infantry there. So he, of course, is forced to abandon with the 6-pounder guns. Gurkhas on the move. He may, of course, want to consider more Gurkhas out here, more elite infantry. They could also go for foot guards, and honestly, with all the stuff here that Farlion has, foot guards with the bazookas might actually be the better choice. We do get the grants that are being unlocked here for Barton. Thumbs up. Steward, by the way, is still alive, actually. At this point, there's an argument we actually just want to withdraw it and refit it for, more resources and more tanks. That is something to consider here. As a Farlion, more Panther fleets, I imagine, are just, what's on the menu for him. You could, of course, also consider sneaking in a Flampanzer 3 at some point. There you go, another Panzerkampfwagen 3. 200 points left for Barton. Pressure is increasing on him and the British Empire. Vic is there, but the northern victory point. Barton clearly slow points life shows, so he slowly keep up on Farlion here.
The capture point is being taken from us.
Quite a few hits into the rear armor of the Panzerkampfwagen 3. Worth noting though, Farlion doesn't actually have a lot of infantry. He's got a few Panzer Grenadiers and some Panzer Pioneer, but obviously just primarily machine guns and tanks. It's probably helped by the fact that most of Barton's infantry is very much anti-tank rifles. There's less of immediate need there, though of course some assault guns have pushed through that could be good. And there's only one Gurkha squad here as well. So it does technically give Barton more raw numbers. But fortunately for Farlion, Barton is not really leveraging that. Also, one thing to keep in mind here for Barton is he really should consider laying down some mines, particularly considering like the tactics that Farlion so far has been enacting, in particular across here. Some mines around here I think would pay off a lot. Vickers versus Vickers here. Panther Fleet pushing forward here for the German army. And there we go, Panther Fleet getting absolutely pelted here, the armor giving way there. As anti-tank rifle and anti-tank on fire there, pieces straight through the sidearm. We've got an artillery strike calling the Vickers there. More hits in the Panzer 3s, Panzer Grenadiers in the Farlion's command. Push on towards the hill, we got to do it here though, and that's it really. Gurkhas are arriving on the flank here, should be able to stop to a degree Farlion's push, no. And we got here, I think it's perimeter watch for Barton. What is it called? Yes, a perimeter monitor. Oh. Largely the same thing there, got artillery hitting down here on Farlion's Panzers. Could see a Panther Fleet go down. Automata. Artillery there so far is not making the impact I imagine Barton was hoping for. Almost got one of the Panther Fleets here. Yes, Panther Fleet were down there for Farlion. Great kill there for Barton. Could maybe take out a second Panther Fleet, a bit of luck. No, anti-tank was pointing in the other direction. Almost got the other Panther Fleet there, but got a 6-pounder gun from Farlion blocking the pursuit. Pulling back the Panther Fleets here. Now, this hill has seen a lot of death. It's a real butcher hill. Anyway, Stuart pushing forward, trying to catch the Panther Fleet, but it's too late now. We've got Armada covering the retreat of the Panthers, plus the 6-pounder gun here, costing Barton his Stuart finally. But we do get the first ground tank out here, and I'd not be surprised he's going to push for more. On the right hand, the ground tanks are quite burdened due to having 2 guns. One in the turret, one in the sponson.
Commander, we have artillery on standby.
Yeah, but did push back fine here. If he hadn't, I think he would have been lost there. But now he's got time to, I think, rebuild it, get in some more tanks, in particular a lot of ground tanks. Could give Farlion's Panzer Fleet a really tough time. That said, I do think Barton again needs to like focus more on the beach, and again Farlion could also like consider some more flanks through there, but he's really determined to like use the hill. And we got another grant all the way there for Barton, and the British Empire plus another Panther Fleet for Farlion. Both sides just getting more and more tanks.
Orders? The Grant's ready.
Got the Grant there. Riveted design, as when the Americans assigned the Grant, they didn't actually have a lot of trained welders, so they still had to rely on riveters, so Grant tank has a riveted design. Fun fact there. In fact, the Grant was very much a tank made due to restrictions in American industrial capabilities at the time, which is why it does look rather unique for a tank.
Victory point lost.
Because they're pushing back the section.
Batteries are standing by.
Another Grant ready here. These 2 Grants here for Barton. Got a lot of Panther Fleets as well there for Farlion. Panther Fleets flying way up north. He got to push towards the hill with the Grant. Martyr the Maker on the far way at the Grant here. Good shot there on Barton's M3 Grant.
A sector is in enemy control.
Other Grant, they hang back on beaches. He needs to be careful about isolating them. I mean, this could very much invite Farlion to like just bunch up his Panther Fleets, go after one of the Grants and destroying it. The other one on the beaches, I think, is the more vulnerable, as the other one, of course, is right now backed up by 2 6-pounder guns. Panther Fleets holding back here. See another Grant. I mean, he's got plenty of fuel. He's got fuel right now for like 2 extra Grants. The issue is more the manpower for Barton. Little shot called in here on the MG-34. Also the 6-pounder gun there. And there you go, Grant Lancers with great hits in the machine gun, wiping out the crew there. And we got the double 6-pounder guns here, punishing Farlion's Panzer 3s there, forcing him to withdraw behind the cover of the hill. Anti-tank section pushing forward. It looks like Farlion's going to make an attempt to grab the hill and once more push Farlion off it. There we go, anti-tank grenades over the Panther Fleet. British force of the 7th Armoured Division, the Desserats, slowly forcing back the Germans here. Steady advance here. Mark Grant's there, hanging back as well there. Ooh, Panther Fleet got caught out in the open here. Full wipe. Second one, it could also go down, I suppose, with a bit of luck here from Barton's Grants, but no. Doesn't get it. Panther flanking up around to the anti-tank sections. A lot of damage to the Panther though, almost knocked out. Close call there, and we got another Panther there for Farlion. Now that Panzerkampfwagen 3. As for Barton, we are not too far away from another grunt. Back to Farlion, with 3 Panther and a 4th one on the way. Certainly a match with a lot of tension here. And there we go, grunt for Barton. There'll be 3 grunts versus a lot of Panther 3s. It's going to be quite interesting to see how that turns out. Never mind all the anti-tank guns covering the hill as well.
Panzer 3 is awaiting orders.
Forcing here for Barton.
A capture point. Luftwaffe forces are available.
Got the Stuka Loika as well ready enough for Farlion and the German army. They're Gurkhas versus the Vikazi, forcing Farlion to withdraw that before it gets annihilated here by Barton's Gurkhas. In fact, they might get wiped still. Gurkhas do have an impressive amount of DPS, there we go. Wipe on Farlion's machine gun out. And we got triple grants here for Barton. I repeat, triple grants. That's a lot of tanks being lined up here. We got 4 Panther 3s versus 3 grants. Countless anti-tank destroyers. Looks like Barton's gonna try and inch further against Farlion. Snipe away the Panther 3s from the top of the hill. Gurkhas there. Got the machine gun as well. There's smoke being deployed. Panther 3 being pushed back by tank on fire there from the hill. Grant remaining reserve here. I mean, a smart move around for Barton to move up here and then flank up behind Barton's forces here. I mean, he knows the anti-tank is pointing here and the martyr's likely, but right here, there's a bit of a blind spot, I think, in Farlion's perception, so Grant's pushing that way would be exceptionally powerful. So backed up by anti-tankers from here, but no, instead, Barton is going to attack right into, like, all of Farlion's guns, also allowing the Panther to support. And, like, he knows the Panther this is a bit of a strange move by Barton, honestly. Yeah, he's just shouting at Grant's, like, in, like, just the worst way possible. Troops being caught here. Grant, number 2 down. Barton, a fan pushing forward. We've got a Flam Panther now joining in the fun here. Massive push here. Barton is being overrun here. His failed Grant push there has left him dangerously exposed here, and Fun is absolutely going for it here. 3rd Grant down. It is an absolute disaster here for Barton. His men are dying in their droves. We've got an Ace Panther here for Farlion. Anti-tanks being cleared up. Men are dying. Weapons are being abandoned. Tanks are bursting into flames here. And with that, I would say that is a crushing blow here to Barton. I am not entirely sure you can actually recover from. He just lost so much here. So we're going to hold it here because the match does end shortly afterwards, and he's just going to pop right out to the desktop. So we can, of course, recall that. So GG game over here. A brutal back and forth match here with an intense emphasis on the hill, and both players like kind of putting very little into the beach. I do think that's something they could improve upon. Of course, for fun, I do get to a degree because, again, when we did, like, Barton would just occupy these houses and just make things miserable for him to an extent. I do understand it, but that's only part of the things at times could have been a bit more. At least going for some deeper flanks here. As for Barton, I feel like he had a chance with the triple grants, but then proceed to, like, attack in the just worst way possible. He just attacked in his direction where, like, every gunner Farlion was pointing. Like, he attacked up for here, flanked there. He could have caught Farlion's formation much worse off. The other Panthers would have been isolated. The Mud and everything else also to have to turn around there. He could, like, just boom, smashed in. They could also much more quick withdrawn here, but instead he attacked through here, open terrain, and tanks on all sides almost. That was a really poor attack there by Barton. I think that was kind of like a throw there that cost him the game. So also, you know, you could also just benefit from mining. In fact, I'm surprised neither player really tried to mine the hill or the area surrounding the hill, considering like how much emphasis was put on the hill. I think like whoever had mined this hill probably would be able to much more easily hold it against the other one. Either way, the home enjoyed this match here from the Master League. Got a lot more of those coming up here. And of course, a big thanks to all those people working on the Master League allowing all these excellent matches to happen. So thank you for joining in. Hope you enjoyed the stream, had some fun, and learned some things. If you did, subscribe, like, share, help the algorithm spread the video. Also, you can also just comment, like, shit, well, I said that, but you can donate or pledge on page, support the Propagandacaster, allowing me to keep making all this wonderful content. So thank you all for joining in, and see you all tomorrow for another episode. Bye, everyone.